Am I the asshole? For telling my daughter I won't be coming to her wedding? My baby daddy was a narcissistic jerk and was often emotionally abusive to me and made me cry regularly. We had a daughter Mia. He left when she was 8 but regularly sent about $1,500 a month to watch her while he traveled the world. Mia would often cry about him missing her birthday, but he would make up by it by sending her consoles and makeup, but it still hurt her that the guy didn't even bother showing up to her birthday. Mia is getting married soon and we were working on the guest list, and when we were talking about who was walking her down the aisle she would constantly switch the conversation, and me and my husband asked about it and she said she wants her biodad to walk her down the aisle. My husband said, "Bullshit, I've been raising you forever, it's not fair," and Mia replied, "My real dad bought me a car, he paid for my surgery, and he even sent me money for a dog." My husband looked heartbroken and went out the house and told me he was going to the bar. Mia looked at me and said, "Sorry mom, but I want him. I know you and him have bad blood, but I want him to do it. I've been sending letters and he's been sending them back." I then said something I regretted. I said, "If you invite him, I'm not giving you my wedding dress or coming." Mia started tearing up and said, "Fine, don't come," and ran out. Now my family is calling me heartless. Now I feel alone. Not the asshole sounds as if your narcissistic ex is working his charms on her and she's buying it. If it happens, he may let her down on the big day. As at least one other person here has said, you should have a quiet talk when things calm down. If you haven't given her the full story about him yet, maybe now is the time to tell it, so long as it doesn't get heated with her again. A nasty slap in the face for your husband, but bear in mind that she's likely being manipulated by a selfish liar who is playing at being daddy. Are y'all ignoring that her grown-ass daughter wants to invite her mom's abuser to her wedding because he buys her shit? Not the asshole. My dad abused my mom and I'd never invite him to my wedding. ETA, I'm not replying to any more comments. I just found out my car's transmission is fucked up and my warranty expired 17 miles ago. I'm going to go cry into a bag of Lay's chips. Thank you. I haven't seen a comment saying this, but is it possible daughter is so starved for her biodad's love and support that she thinks this is the way to get it? If she picks him over her stepdad for her wedding, maybe he will finally be there for her and be in her life and love her? It will never happen, but please stay in your daughter's life and keep an eye on her so you can be there when she's disappointed by her father the next time. And the next time after that. And the time after that. And on until she realizes he's not worth it. What verdict to say? Nah? Unpopular opinion, but not the asshole. Your daughter is grown enough to understand that your ex was abusive and she is basically disregarding the parents who were actually there to support and raise her for a deadbeat sperm giver who tried to buy her with things and it worked apparently. Maybe she will finally realize her mistake when her oh-so-lovely father won't even show up for her wedding. No judgments to give. I'm sorry. This really sucks for you and your family. Have a conversation with her when things cool down. I would love to hear Mia's side because I'm betting you're leaving a lot out. How old was Mia when you got married to her stepdad? Who's paying for the wedding? How often did she see her dad growing? Also, you said traveling all the time, but was he traveling for work? But your husband sounds like asshole to tell her bullshit. I've also know plenty of brides who have had their dad and stepdad give them away. Maybe if he was an asshole to her that could have been a choice. Did your husband help raise your daughter? Did he have a fatherly relationship with her? Was he there for her growing up? If so, then your daughter seems to be more into money than relationships. Then not the asshole. Ultimately it is her choice. Doesn't change who is the though. If he did not fulfill the role as the dad, then it's understandable she wouldn't ask him to walk her down the aisle. Not the asshole, but kind of a pick you battles. You aren't wrong, but at the end of the day it's her choice. I'm a few years she will regret it when her step-parent isn't loving anymore and her bio-dad still doesn't care. Honestly, the one losing is her, but it'll be too late and the damage will be done. Is no one here the product of a marriage gone awry, where mom then badmouths dad, tries to force their children to take sides, and portrays him as a monster and herself as a saint? I find it extraordinary that pretty much every person in this thread thinks a daughter should cut ties with her dad because her mom calls him a narcissistic jerk and says he made her cry. You're the asshole. This day isn't about you. It is her choice who she wants to walk her down the aisle. Just do your best to be polite and try to avoid the narcissistic jerk. Info: what surgery did she have and why did you and your husband not pay for it? You're the asshole. After reading your comment, it's pretty clear that we aren't getting the full story. The biodad is involved with more than just money and gifts like you originally claimed. Oh, hey, the third post today that does reported speech in exactly the same unconvincing and badly punctuated way. Don't make your children pick between parents unless you are fully okay with them not picking you. I would honestly like to hear the daughter's side, and the father's. Something isn't adding up, and why is stepdad all upset when it's not his choice who walks her down the aisle? His first choice was to run to the bar. You're the asshole. Your comment history says something very different about your post. Her wedding day isn't about you or her stepdad. It is about her. You keep going down this road and you could very well have a daughter who doesn't speak to you. From your updates it looks like your daughter was able to establish a relationship with your ex independent of money. There are pieces missing. It kind of looks like you're the asshole. Not the asshole. It's crazy how people think just because someone gives you money, they seem to care about you. What happened to all those birthday, what happened to all those first milestones? Where was he when she cried in pain? OP and her husband were there for it all. I understand that's her father that financially supported her, but he didn't emotionally support her upbringing. I bet you all $1,000,000 that he doesn't even show up to the wedding. This man has a history of not showing up for birthdays. You all really think he will come to the wedding? Mia would often cry about him missing her birthday. She was sad about him missing life events. And now you're insisting that either he continues to miss life events, or you'll be the one missing the life event. Because of how bad we was for missing life events? You're the asshole. Not the asshole. I'm sure she's coping with a hole in her heart about her father with money who didn't parent her, but neither you nor your husband are wrong to be hurt by this. I'd give it's immaturity, lack of perspective, or both on daughter's part. But she can continue to take cash and be emotionally disappointed for life. Or satisfied if biodad wants to be present now that she doesn't require parenting anymore. I'm gonna go with ESH but advise you that you should rethink your position. Is what your daughter doing very smart? No. Should you miss her wedding and damage your relationship over it? Also no. It is very hurtful to your husband, but her father surely will keep letting her down like he has her whole life, and she will see it. That will be hers to live with. If you still want a relationship with your child, be the bigger person. Not the asshole. ESH I get how you feel betrayed after you and your husband raised your daughter. Your daughter equates a father's love with money, which will possibly lead to issues later on. But she does get to choose who is at the wedding. Do you really want the biodad swanning around the wedding like a hero if you don't show up? Hard for me to call you Tia given your daughter sounds like she's bought and paid for over a man I presume showed her love and raised her as his own. She's 100 and off for hurting your husband, but she may actually have some bond with her biodad. Given she jumped to money instead of starting with the letters, I doubt it though. It's her wedding and she can choose who she likes. You don't have to put up with disrespect of you or your husband. I wouldn't go if I were in your place, but I'd spend time talking to your daughter to find out the full scope before making such finite decisions. Is the wedding dress the one you married your now husband in? I think you need to sit down and have an honest talk with your daughter instead of seeking judgment here. It doesn't matter whether or not a bunch of internet people think you're the asshole. Your relationship with your child is on the line here, and you need to communicate with each other instead of stomping feet and making threats. Something has broken down in your family. Get off the internet and go deal with it like the adult you're supposed to be. Info: what surgery did he pay for? Info: does she know he was abusive? Info: does your daughter know about the abuse? I can understand her not knowing, but if she doesn't, it might be worth a discussion as to why you don't want to see him. Because let's be honest, this isn't bad blood. It's abuse. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. It's her day, it's her choice. I think he's likely not going to turn up, but she needs to find out the hard way that he's a waste of space. When you have a baby with somebody you know, you are signing up for a lifetime of spending special events together. It's not fair for you to ruin her special day. You're the asshole. I would support her decision unless the dad gives you PTSD from serious abuse. I would tell her that you don't agree with the term real dad but biodad, if she likes her stepdad too. It's just hurtful. Info: does your daughter know he was abusive to you? Info: if your ex was just a guest and your husband was the one to walk her down the aisle, would you go to the wedding? You're the asshole, and good lord, do I really hope I don't have to deal with anything like this at my wedding. You're the asshole for ruining your daughter's wedding. It's not about you. It's not your wedding. It's not about your husband. This is only your daughter's decision. I get you have hurts. But Mia isn't doing anything to you and your husband. So, unfortunately, you're the asshole. It is also emotionally abusive and toxic to make your child choose between their parents for any reason, so OP and X have something in common obviously. At the end of the day you are both your daughter's parents, and it is a hard decision as she is an adult and it's her wedding.